beautiful friends, my name is Anna. Welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're new here. Today I am going to show you how to make hot chocolate bombs. Hot chocolate bombs went viral on TikTok, but these are so good. They actually live up to the hype, which wasn't my expectation to be exact because you know how things are, but they're really fun to make, especially if you have kids or if you have little ones in your family that you want to do something with them. They're so fun to make. They actually do explode if you do it properly, correctly, exactly how I'm going to show you. They also make a great gift. I'm actually making a few to give away to my neighbors and some of my friends. Let me show you what you're going to need very quickly so we can get started. You're obviously going to need some chocolate. Here I'm using white chocolate and dark chocolate. And I'm going to talk about the chocolate in just a second. You're going to need some marshmallow, hot cocoa mix. This is my homemade hot cocoa mix. Pretty sure I'm gonna post a video on it one of these days. You need some sort of toppings or fillings. You definitely have to play around with whatever you like. I'm using some crushed candy canes and some really fun Christmas sprinkles. You're also going to need your molds. These are round silicone molds. I think these are about 2 inches. I'm not sure, but you're gonna need some sphere, some mold, whatever you can find, whatever you can get your hands on. Now, about the chocolate. There is a bit of a back and forth about what type of chocolate you should use for hot chocolate bombs. And after testing a few different types of chocolates, a few different methods, I found that if you are not a person that's not in the kitchen as much, you really don't know how to work with chocolate, real chocolate, like a 70%, 80% chocolate, it's quite difficult to work with and it can be a total mess. That is why I'm using candy melt for this recipe. They melt beautifully. The hot chocolate bombs come out so delicious either way. Obviously, if you are a little more experienced in the kitchen and you're comfortable with using 70% chocolate or something like that and you know what you're doing, I would just do that. But like I said, if you're not very experienced, candy melt are the way to go, especially if you're working with white chocolate. White chocolate can be so difficult to work with, so candy melts are great. Like I said, the fillings are up to you. You have to play around with the recipe. You have to see what you like. I really like candy canes in my hot chocolate, so that's what I'm doing. I'm also doing, as you saw, some very festive Christmas sprinkles just because they look cute and kids like it, and we're gonna put some inside, we're gonna put some outside, and it's gonna look so pretty. Definitely play around with the fillings and what type of hot cocoa mix you want to add. You can do so many things. I'm going to show you the most basic way to make them, and then from there you go ahead and you do your own thing. I'm going to be doing mine in a double boiler, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. Since I don't have a double boiler, I just got a small saucepan. I placed a mixing bowl, a heat-proof mixing bowl on top, and this is going to function as my double boiler. You can also make this in the microwave, but it's a little more tricky because you really need to know the type of, depending on your chocolate, it has to melt at different temperatures and for different times. So I find that the stove is the way to go. I just want this video to be as informative and as easy for you to do as possible. So let's go over to the stove so we can get this show on the road. Here I'm adding my chocolate melt, and you want to melt this. You want to put the heat on medium and just wait for this to melt. As it starts to melt, you want to whisk, whisk, whisk so nothing burns and you have a very luxurious and melted chocolate. So once it gets to the point, I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like. As you can see, my chocolate has started to melt. So you want to keep whisking this, going around the edges. As you can see, my chocolate has melted beautifully. And this is exactly the consistency I want it in. I don't want to get it too liquidy, otherwise it's going to be too thin and you're gonna have to do 2 coats on the molds. And now I'm gonna turn off the heat so it doesn't continue cooking for much longer. Okay, so here I have the molds, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use a brush to do this part. You can also use a spoon, whatever you have on hand, go ahead and use it. But all I'm gonna do is just brush the chocolate all over, just like this. You don't want too thick of a coating, otherwise it won't melt properly, but you definitely don't want it too thin that it's going to fall apart once you remove it from the mold. So this is what I'm doing. I'm gonna really focus on the edges right here. Those tend to be a little too thin, and then it's impossible to remove. This is what mine looks like. As you can see, everything is perfectly coated all around. If you find that yours is a little too thin around the edges, what you can do is pop this in the fridge for about 2 minutes and then go back in with a little bit more around the edges so you can make it really nice and thick so it doesn't fall apart. This has to harden up before we add the filling, but it only takes about 3 to 4 minutes in the fridge. So I'm gonna go ahead, do the white chocolate. I'm gonna do the same exact process. Then I'm gonna show you how to fill this in and how to close them. As you can see, mine are done, and to remove them, you just simply have to very gently take them out of the silicone mold, just like that. We're gonna do this, like I said, very gently. Okay, so I have mine here, and this is what I'm gonna do. As you can see, this ones, they broke a little bit as I was taking them out, but that's all right because this is what we're gonna do. I have a skillet here that I had on low heat, and you just want to place it down on the hot skillet and melt the edges so we can have a clean edge. I'm going to do about, I say I have about a tablespoon of hot cocoa mix in here. I'm also going to add a few marshmallows right inside, just like that, and some sprinkles. You can do sprinkles or you can do the candy canes. I'm gonna do the same thing to my other sphere. Going to melt the top, and this is what's going to help close it. Okay, and here you have it. It looks perfect. This is going to go back into the fridge for about 4 or 5 extra minutes. You want the chocolate to cool down a little bit more so it can stick together and they don't break apart. I'm going to continue with the rest of the chocolate bombs, and then I'm going to show you the final results. I'm going to decorate them, and this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get some of that melted chocolate. You can use white chocolate. I'm just gonna do the same dark chocolate. The white chocolate looks very pretty. What I'm gonna do now is drizzle some chocolate on top, just like so. Okay, and I'm gonna go in with some extra sprinkles. Okay, my chocolate bombs are done. I only showed you how to decorate one because I think this is very personal. You're going to decorate it according to what you have on hand, according with whatever you want to decorate it with. So I just showed you how to decorate it, and then you're gonna let your imagination run wild and do whatever, and do fun things with it. So I have a mug with some steaming milk right in here. The milk is very hot, and I'm just gonna drop my hot chocolate bomb in it and see the final results. So I'm gonna zoom in so you can see it in action. Okay, there's the moment of truth. I'm gonna drop it in and see what happens. Oh yes. Sometimes you have to help it along a little bit more. But can you see those marshmallows floating to the top? That is so satisfying. Make sure you mix in the hot chocolate powder so everything gets full incorporated before you drink it, and that's it. Look how fun this is. I'm telling you, if you have kids and you do this with them, they will absolutely love it. As you saw, my hot chocolate bombs did its job. The marshmallows, they floated to the top, and it is just very satisfying to watch. I'm gonna test it to see how they came out. Let's dig right into it. Oh, that's good. That is good. That is perfection. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. As you saw, the very viral hot chocolate bombs trends. Very easy to make, very satisfying, very delicious. They make a great gift. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you did and subscribe to the channel. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.